have not been on YouTube for a while, but I want to come back. Keep me accountable. So that is what this video is going to be. It's going to be a little update on, since the last time that I spoke to you, we have done a full month of reading, we're creating our April TBR, and I got a new camera. But before I switch over to my new camera, I thought I would film one last video on this camera for old time's sake. The reason I'm changing this camera is simply because I have been heavily influenced. And also this camera overheats because I talk too much. So that is why we are moving to a new camera, new life. I want to start vlogging more, out about in the world. The sun has finally appeared in Scotland and I'm here for it. I'm feeling optimistic. I'm feeling positive. If you're new here, my name is Gabrielle and I film bookish content here on YouTube, TikTok and Instagram, and I'm also an aspiring author. I literally feel that the past 6 weeks have been crazy, busy. I've been feeling unwell and then feeling okay, but then having loads of plans, so we're back. We need to get into a routine. I've got a nice few week break of life to actually focus on my content. Yeah, I thought we would first sit down and just have a little reading recap for last month, which was March. Can you believe that we're already in April? So I thought we would do a little recap of how my month went for my reading, because it was, I want to say roller coaster, but it was more like Splash Mountain. It was going up, up, up until we came crashing down at the end of the month. So let's get right into it. I'm going to save my little calendar from Fable so I can put it here because it shows you just how my month went. As you can see from the calendar, we started out with Rebel Witch, which was one of my highly anticipated reads for March. It came out right at the end of February, so it made it into the March reading wrap up. And it was perfection. The duology as a whole, the Crimson Moth plus the Rebel Witch, was perfection. I could not have wished for anything else better than what was created. We still even got in the second book a lot of cat and mouse dynamic, which I didn't think we were going to get, but we did, and I loved it. I will recommend this duology to anyone. Then we moved on to Wildside, which was Elsie Silver's latest release, and it is between a pro wrestler and a chef who recently became the guardian of her sister's child. And honestly, the book covered so much, like in terms of grief, in terms of moving on, that kind of dynamic between the two of them. They both had their own memories of the person who they'd lost, and they were both moving into this new journey together, and it was just unlike any of the other books that I've read from her, and I'm loving where the Rose Hill series is going. Then we moved on to God of Fury, and that took me 4 days to read. So we're averaging on 4 days to read each book at this moment in time. And God of Fury was perfection. It was my first romance, and also it was a dark romance, so we really just jumped straight into the deep end. I still think about Bran and Nico all the time. It was really steamy, but then it also was very cute, and then it also was quite dark. It's a dark romance, of course, but very dark. I felt like it was more dark than the other ones in the Legacy of God series. I'm really excited to get on to the next one in the series, which I believe is the last one. Next we read Kiss of the Basilisk. It took me 3 days to read this and I could not put it down. It's quite a big book as well. I could not put it down. I don't know what it was. The book was insane. If you don't like smut, don't read this book. It's basically smut almost every page. I believe like 80% of the book was probably smut and 20% was not smart. I was so invested. I don't know why. It was just crazy. And then I feel like the ending kind of let it down. The ending was quite underwhelming in comparison to the rest of the book. I was like, really? Really? Like, we're going to fade to black now? But anyway, I still think it is worth a read because it was going crazy on TikTok. I understand why. If you want to just experience it, read it. It's on Kindle Unlimited, so no excuse. Then this is where we took a bit of a downhill. A bit of a downhill from this point on. I read Close Protection, which was meant to be just like a romance palette cleanser for me. You can already tell it took me longer to read than Kiss of the Basilisk, despite being half the page length. I just feel that YA romance is not for me. There wasn't enough tension in the book that I was looking for. I feel like we saw each other and we were like, yeah, we're in love. But I don't know, it didn't hit for me because it was kind of like we're building up to this and there was kind of no reward. I feel like if you like YA romance, then it's a really good read. But I feel like because I've just went from like epic fantasy, crazy, smutty fantasy, and dark romance, that it just fell a bit flat. And I really wanted to like it. I liked the premise of the book, but I didn't connect with the characters. Definitely snoring. And then I feel like this is when I went into a bit of a slump. As you can see, I moved on to Dance of Lies, which was an arc, so this book's not coming out until May, and it begrudges me to say that it took me a week and a half to read it. I didn't know if it was because I was coming off the back of not really enjoying my palette cleanser to going into a fantasy, and it was taking me a bit long to get into it, but the fantasy was very light. But the politics was very heavy, and I really, for the first 60%, I was like, what is going on? Who is who? What kingdom is what? Why do they not like each other? Can we just slow down just a touch so that I can figure out what's happening? See, once we hit the romance at like 60%, I was happy. But also for the first 60%, I didn't feel like we got to know the male main character that well, so the whole last 40% of the book where it's meant to be like really shocking, and it was shocking, but it didn't hit as much as it could have done if I'd really connected with the male main character. So that took me a while to get through, but I was determined. I was absolutely determined to get through this book, and I thought I was going to love it because the main character was like a dancer, but she just made so many decisions where I was like, girl, what are you doing? What are you doing? So overall, it's been a whirlwind. It's been a whirlwind of a month. It started off so high. I feel like I jinxed it. I jinxed it by saying, oh my god, March is the best reading month ever, but here we are. This is what happened. See, I started on my April reads on the last day of the month, and that is Heavenly Bodies. I picked this up in Waterstones and I'm currently halfway through. I absolutely am loving it. I have no complaints. This is on track to become one of my favourite books of the year, and we're only about 3 months in to the year, so absolutely incredible. I'm so excited to finish this. This is what I was looking for with tension. This is the kind of tension that I needed. I've decided I'm keeping it light this month. I'm just gonna go with what I have been enjoying. So after Heavenly Bodies, these are a couple of options that I've got. First off being God of War, which is the last book in the Legacy of God series, so that'll be nice to wrap up that series. This one follows Eli. If you've read the series, I feel like we don't get much of him throughout the series, so I'm very intrigued to what his story is going to be. I also need to catch up on the Rebel Blue Ranch series, so we have Lost and Lassoed, which will be a nice, easy cowboy romance, which I know that I will like. And then I was very kindly sent the last one in the Rebel Blue Ranch series, which is Wild and Wrangled, so this doesn't come out until later on in the month. I am very excited to read this one. So both of them I am going to try and read this month so I can catch up and I can tick that series off of my TBR. And then I also picked this up at Waterstones, which is Our Infinite Fates by Laura Stephen. I have been seeing this everywhere on Instagram, TikTok, and I saw it in the shop and I was like, do you know what? I feel like I need to give it a go. I've got nice sprayed edges as well, so I'm very excited to read this. Let me see. What I know about the book has intrigued me. So it's basically this couple who in every lifetime, so I guess they're reincarnated. In every lifetime they are destined to each other over and over again, and they're trying to figure out why they're doing that. That is all I know. that is all I care to know. I love to go into all of my books blind because I feel like it just makes the experience so much better, but I've seen so many people raving about this book, so I am so excited to get into it. And that is everything that I'm kind of setting up for myself this month, because I really cannot cope with another month like March. So we're mood reading. We're just picking up what I feel like at the time. Okay, now I thought that I would show you my new camera. So this is her here. She is the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. You might have seen other vloggers, YouTubers using this camera, and for good reason. Well, I hope it's a good reason because I've not used it yet. But I have watched so many reviews on this camera. I filmed a little unboxing for TikTok, but I am so excited to start using this. Not only is it teeny weeny, it films both ways in vertical and landscape, and it's also got a gimbal on the top, so the footage is always really steady and you can move the gimbal about rather than moving the camera about to do things, which I think is a game changer. My main thing with the camera that I'm on just now is I have to attach things to it to make it work. I've got a tripod on it which has an angle at the top, so I can move the angle. It does come with like a little stand on this camera, but I feel like it's always like facing up at me, and I don't want my chins in the frame. So I'm really excited for this. I ended up getting, by popular request, I have been talking to my friend who also has this camera. It's Faye, and she does a YouTube channel as well, and I love the quality of her videos, so I have been talking her ear off trying to figure out what all the details of the camera, and she definitely recommended getting the creator combo, and it's basically the camera plus a bunch of extras to help you in your creator journey. So I thought I would go through all the accessories that I got in the box. First things first is the actual camera. I am going to open this for you so you can see. Isn't that insane? I am absolutely obsessed, and then you can film vertically as well. The creator combo comes with this little case, and this has all the little bits in it. First one being it's an extra battery charger. So you just plug this in the bottom of the camera and it gives you a little extra boost of battery if you're running out. And I love how everything is really nice and compact on this camera, so it just plugs in like that, and then you've got extra battery and also extra length for a handle. As well as that, you've also got a little extender for the bottom of it here, and this is just so you can put it onto a tripod. It's got that little screw thing in, but it also gives you just like that little added length, which I think you need because then you can move that around. But this is in the normal package with the camera, so if you just buy the camera by itself, you still get this extender. Next, you've got like this little mini tripod, which is great for if I'm sitting on my desk and doing videos like this. You also get a little case, but you get this with the normal packet as well. So if you buy the camera by itself, you still get this case because it's really important to protect the gimbal. But what you don't get is this little wide angle lens, which is like a little lens that just goes onto the camera of the Osmo. So you just magnet it on, and then it's got a little lens which just widens the frame. And then probably the main thing that I got the creator combo for was the microphone. So this microphone just attaches to the camera. All you need to do is turn it on, press the link button, and it just attaches to the camera. You don't need a receiver or anything like that. You can also record just into this and then upload the file if you want to do a voiceover, which I also thought was great. I think there's actually quite a few things that you can do with this mic, but I'm not fully clued up on all of it. I just know that you can obviously connect it to the camera and you can record your voice and then upload it later. And then you obviously get a little fluffy windscreen for it, because who doesn't love a little fluffy windscreen for their microphone? So that is everything you get in the creator combo. I also wanted to go through a couple extra bits that I ended up buying based on the videos that I've watched. So the first thing was actually this case. Obviously you do get this case with your camera, but I decided to end up getting this case because it actually fully encloses the gimbal in it. So it fully encloses the gimbal and the screen and the joystick, so that if it's going about in your bag then it's definitely not getting touched, whereas this is open on one side. So the gimbal is out here and I'm just paranoid about something going in there scratching my camera. I also got this little like foot thing for it. I saw a lot of creators say that this was really handy. I feel like when you've got the tripod that comes with the camera on here, it makes it really long when you're holding it, which is fine for if I'm in here. This will be quite good and sturdy, but if I'm out and about and I still want it to look pretty small, I thought this would be great, and it just gives you that little extra bit of base on your camera, so it just will sit and you don't need to worry about it, and it's also still small and compact in your hand. So I thought that was a really good recommendation that I saw. Overall, I am already obsessed with it. It is so much smaller than I thought it was going to be. The camera that we're on just now is very small, but this is like tiny, like really tiny. And you've got the added benefit of having the gimbal on the top, which is genius. Why have we not been doing this before? It's also very easy to use, like moving about the joystick and everything. I was worried about that, about controlling it and figuring out how everything was going to work, but actually it's so simple, and I'm so glad that I went ahead and did it. I will put everything in the description box that I got with it, the extra accessories and also the camera itself. It is on loads of places. I got mine from very.com, but you can get it from Amazon, Argos, the actual DJI website, and Very, which is where I got it from. The accessories that I got were from Amazon. I will have them linked as well. But I have some exciting things coming up in the next few weeks that I want to film and really test out the camera. And I'm also going away in May, so I am really excited to take the camera away and really test it so that we can know what it's like. I was a bit like, am I going to do it, am I not? But I thought I would celebrate. I have made some money from doing my TikTok now, and I thought I would put it towards something that's going to help me in the future and help me on YouTube, because I love doing YouTube. I love editing my YouTube videos. I love editing all my videos, but I really love editing my YouTube videos, like probably the most. I feel like I've got a little special place in my heart for YouTube. I have always been a YouTube girly. I always watch YouTube. I would rather watch YouTube over TV. And yeah, YouTube has just got a little special place in my heart. So I'm excited to be on here more, and I'm excited to level up my game. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.